Hey everyone, how are you doing today? I hope that you guys are doing amazing and fantastic and wonderful. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm trying out a new live stream program. It's called Opus. Let me know what you guys think towards the end of the show because I would really like to know like your thoughts on everything, quality of things, all of that fun stuff. I am super stoked to be with you guys tonight. How is everyone doing tonight? Is every I want to make sure that everyone is on the correct stream. I think that it might have gotten a little messed up when it came to actually posting on the correct thing. So let me make sure that I have the right link on Patreon. Um, it should be this link, but let's just make sure that everything is working the way that it should. How has everyone's holidays been? I hope that it has been really good. Let me see. It looks like it's doing the wrong one. I checked this before I did this and it shouldn't be messing up, but apparently it is. So I'm going to delete this one right here and I'm going to post the correct link on the Patreon account. So make sure that you guys go to the Patreon and that it actually goes through. Let me redo this link and I'm going to hit save. And let's make sure that everybody gets notified for that. But I am so excited to see. Hi, Amber. How are you? See, okay, we've got some people coming over. Just making sure. I was letting everybody know that I have started a new sort of live streaming thing, and so I'm trying to make sure that everybody is able to get on. Hi, Ivy. How are you? I hope that you guys are having a really good new year. If you hear Nicholas, hello, Cleo. Cleo is also very excited. If you hear crying, Nick is in the living room with Aaron and Alex, and so we are trying to do the best that we can with the newborn. We've got Alicia here. We've got Lisa. Hey everyone, I'm so sorry that the link that I originally sent for some reason was not working. That makes absolute no sense to me, but it did not. Um, oh yes, all of the holidays have been really good. I can't believe we are so close to the end of the year. It just baffles me. Absolutely baffles me. Did anybody get any really good books for Christmas? Because I was absolutely spoiled. Absolutely spoiled. Hey Stacy. It was so fun seeing me and Sam's video. I was like, when she reached out and she was like, "Hey, would you be a part of this?" I was floored. I was like, "Yes, of course. Thank you for thinking of me." Hey Steph, how are you? Yeah, the stack of mine over here, you mean? That whole entire like just gigantuan stack? Yeah, agreed. I was utterly spoiled for the holidays. Utterly spoiled. Okay, so as people are coming in, I am super excited to be talking about Mrs. Claus and the Santaland slayings. I don't know why I am backwards, but for some reason I am. How about this? There we go. Not backwards now. So, Liz Ireland's Mrs. Claus and the Santaland slayings. I want to know, what did you guys think of the book? So, as I read the synopsis on the back of the book, just as a quick overview, what were your ratings, Clio ratings, or your just star ratings in general? After I'm done reading mine, I will let you know what I thought as well. If you guys follow me on Goodreads, you totally got spoiled on how I thought about this book and all of that fun stuff. But okay, it's the first Christmas in Santaland for April Claus, but it may be her last unless she can uncover a villain with a killer Christmas wish. Love is full of surprises, though a few compare to realizing that you're marrying the real live Santa Claus. April Claus dearly loves her new husband Nick, but adjusting to life in the North Pole is not all sugar plums and candy canes, especially when a cantankerous elf named Giblet Hollyberry is killed, felled by a black widow spider in his stocking, shortly after publicly arguing with Nick. Christmas Town is hardly a hotbed of crime, aside from mishaps caused by too much eggnog. But April disagrees with Constable Crinkle's verdict of accidental death. As April sets out to find the culprit, it'll mean putting the future of Christmas on the line and hoping her own name isn't on a lethal naughty list. All right, let's see what people were thinking. Alicia gave it 5 stars. We've got Amadaria. A cool book I got was called Can't Spell Treason Without T. Okay, I like that. That sounds fantastic. I did read your review on Goodreads. Yep. Lisa says 3 stars. Angie says 5 stars. Love this book and definitely will continue with the series. Steph, 4 Cleos. Okay, so we've got 3, 4, and 5 stars. I gave it a 4 stars. And I really, really, really enjoyed it. I was quite a fan. Okay, this is one of the cool things about this new streaming service is this thing. What is that? Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, I am flipping excited about this whole entire thing. Look, I can even put gifts on the page. Look how excited she is. I'm so excited. So excited. Okay. Anyway, so we just gave our star ratings. There were a lot of people in the book. So it was kind of overwhelming at first. I don't know how you guys felt, if it was overwhelming to you all, but I know that there were more people in the book than that I actually came up with. So there's Jingles the steward, we've got Waldo. So basically, we've got like I'm in love with all of the elven names. What did you guys think about all of them? We've got a ton of just different types of people, but we've got discussion questions. So, what were your main thoughts about April and the whole marriage with Santa in general? I thought that it was really, really, really unique. I had not thought of this as a world before. Like, I never thought, oh, let's have murder in the North Pole, in Santaland. Like, that never would have occurred to me. But it occurred to Liz Ireland, and it made my heart absolutely happy. As someone who thoroughly loves and enjoys Christmas and the holidays in general, to have a whole entire series be all about just like Christmas and eggnog and just all of those worlds. I loved it. I don't know how I felt about how quick it happened. Anna, you hit the nail on the head. I was a little thrown back and thrown off by how fast April and Nick got married, because you didn't really get to fall in love with them as characters. Like, or what, and like fall in love with them falling in love. Does that make sense? Like, that was something that I had to suspend my disbelief. That it happened so fast. Like, it seemed like it was like a summer fling, and then she literally married him, and it was quick, like less than 6 months, I think, which, don't get me wrong, my mom and dad, I think, got engaged after being together like 3 or 6 months. My mom proposed to my dad. Um, but it was still very, like, it was still very, very, very quick. Um, Lisa, I loved the fact that they made it a fun world, but it felt like something was lacking for me in the development of the real marriage between April and Santa. I agree. I could not agree more. Yes, it was super fast. I loved the world and the author's take on the North Pole, although I didn't think the reindeer should talk. I can totally see that. I can totally see that. It was very insta love. Yes. Yes, it just starts off with her being suspicious of him, right? Like, I was like, "Okay, you fell in love, you're married, like, this whole entire world is happening, and, like, all of these things, and marriage is really difficult, and all of this is happening, and then we have the murder of Giblet, who had an altercation with Santa because he didn't win the ice competition or whatever, and then she starts immediately second guessing whether or not Nick, like, was the killer, the murderer. That really threw me off. I hope the series explores their relationship more because it was too fast. I agree. I agree. I agree. I loved Santaland and the story, but I agree that Nick and April's relationship progressed too fast. See, totally agree with that. I feel like you um like, we will get more later in the series, but I feel like we should have been something should have happened that should have invested us in their relationship a little bit more, and then we could really you know feel what she's feeling. I feel like her relationship with Jingles, and her relationship even with Nick's siblings, Martin and Lucia, was a little bit more believable than with her actual husband. Hey, Renee, so glad that you can make it. I'm so glad that you loved the series. I'm afraid that turned me off the series. It's too late for me to get that back. I can see that. Hey, girl, how are you? Their relationship kept it from 5 stars. It was the wink link of the book. I could not agree more. Okay, so we're all sort of on the same page when it came to their relationship and how quickly their marriage came together. But how did Santaland feel to you? Was it cozy? Did it feel like another character? Because I know that there have been cozies in the past, even this year, where the book had so much amazing potential, but then it turns around, and the whole entire point of a cozy is that the world also feels like a small character, and that's something that we all seem to really, really love and depend on. So what did you think about Santaland in general? Anna, the world was so magical, loved it. I would have rather had him visit her for several summers, and then she still could have flashed back on it. That would have been a perfect way for us to fall in love with Nick as a person himself, and not as in the Santa role. I could not agree more, Anna, because I feel like it's really, really hard for me to go, "Santa's sexy." You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't just be like, April, I see what you doing there." If they would have had multiple summers to fall in love and, like, he found her in to be his, his resting place during the off season where he could really be himself and things like that, I feel like it would have been a lot more, cohesive, and it would have made a lot more sense. But I loved the Chris Santaland. I loved it. I loved the whole entire feel of it. I loved the boozy eggnog. I loved the fact that everybody broke out in Christmas songs. Um I just loved it. I just absolutely loved it so, so much. I loved the cozy Christmas related feel. It was definitely a character. Hey, Amy, I felt like the romance just needed to let the readers fall in love with April and Nick. I agree. I agree. The world did feel like a character for me, but I had a hard time totally connecting because things were left out in the relationship between April and Santa. Hands down, I could not agree more. I liked Santaland. I thought that I liked she thought out a coffee shop, candy making, lodges, reindeer games. The reindeer games were hilarious, especially since we were having the Olympics go on at the same time. Everything in this book was like perfectly timed to read during Cosmas and Christmas and all the holiday fun, and I really really liked it as a whole. So, um, what were your thoughts on Constable Crinkles and his assistant? So, as we are starting to go through, you know, and April is finding out that there's been a murder, she goes with Nick, or she goes to go find out what happened. And then there's Constable Crinkles and his lovely assistant, and they have no flipping clue what they are doing. But you know what? To me, that was believable because when the heck is there going to be a murder in the middle of Santaland? You know what I mean? Like, when is there going to be, like, other than, someone gets mad because they didn't win a competition, is there really going to be um, any criminal activity at all? Uh, I really felt like it was believable that April decided, I'm not necessarily going to trust Constable Crinkles and his assistant to figure out this whodunit. They're a little too precious for this world. And they don't I totally agreed with her that maybe they just weren't the right people to figure out the whodunit. I really believe that. The world building was fun to read. The relationship does take a backseat to the mystery. Most take place during the busy season, so I was more apt to give it a pass. Uh, it was perfect in that aspect. They need to start reading cozy mysteries. They don't know what they're doing. 1,000,000%. I did agree with the writing of the bumbling constable and his assistant because Santa Land is not used to murder occurring. Ridiculous but believable. The jail was very Mayberry with the linens and whatnot. It was adorable. Yes, it really, really was. I thought that it was fantastic that they were like, there's not really even any bars on the windows. They were painted shut. It's fine. It tickled me pink. I couldn't agree more. So um whenever she was like, "Nope, I'm taking over," that totally made sense. Now, I realized I totally forgot the other investigator's name, the main investigator's name. Hold on, where is he? How did I forget to put him down? I am going to go crazy. Can you guys remember the guy that they had come from up north to help actually solve the mystery, because I really, really liked him. I can't believe I totally forgot. Yeah, Jake Frost. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. I knew it was something like that. I really, really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you. Jake Frost. I loved Jake Frost. He was fantastic. I loved how flippin' curmudgeony he was, and I love how he seemed to be the most down to earth of all of the people in Santaland, like the more realistic, the one that wasn't phased by the fact that there was a murder. So I liked that him and April sort of kept going back and forth between like, do we share what we have to make it uh to like really figure out what's going on, like what's going on here. Okay, so we are getting more and more into the plot of things, but before we do, what did you guys think about how the elves, the Clauses, and the reindeer were depicted? I know that some people said that they didn't like the fact that the reindeer talked. The Clauses, though, so we've got the other Mrs. Claus, who is Chris's mother, who to me, like, she seems like Emily Gilmore from um oh my goodness, from the Gilmore Girls. I feel like that's the vibe that she was giving me. Then we have his brother Martin, who is in charge of, I think it was the whole candy. Yeah, it was the candy world. We've got Lucia, who's in her passion is the reindeer and animals and everything like that. We also have his older brother, Chris, who was killed, and his wife was, what was his wife's name? It was Tiffany Claus, and she is a retired, um, ice figure skater, and then they have their son, Junior. And so the whole entire reason why April's husband, Nick, even became Santa is because his older brother, Chris, died in an abominable, they were hunting an abominable, words are hard, monster, and he fell and got hurt. But it seems like this mystery also sort of, I love mysteries within mysteries, right? I love it when it like sort of it makes it go into like you're trying to figure out two things going on at once. Um Yes, I agree. Emily Gilmore all the way. I loved Nick's sister. She cracked me up. I liked the fact that the personalities were all different and not so cutesy cutesy. Loved the fact that they were all so diverse in personality, and I loved the fact that the reindeer talked. I really, really, really liked Quasar, Lucia's favorite reindeer. He cracked me up. I loved him. Big cast, but well written characters. They had a lot of personality. You can't say that they didn't. I thought the Clauses would be nicer. They were kind of mean. I agree. They were very much bullies. I was not the biggest fan at first of his mother. And I felt really bad for Tiffany and losing her husband and having to be a single parent. Now, Nick, April's husband, is only Santa Claus until his nephew turns 21, I believe. So he is ready and waiting to um, be done with it. But Santa becomes Jake Frost's primary suspect because he thinks that he killed Chris to get the Santa position, and that since Giblet sort of threatened that Nick was a murderer, that he was silenced by Nick because he wanted to stay Santa forever. Which, of course, we find out isn't correct. Um, what were your thoughts on the murder of Giblet and then old Charlie? I got really, really sad when old Charlie was killed. Old Charlie was the snowman who saw something that he wasn't supposed to see, and he was murdered because of it. And it just made me so sad because um snowmen, like, they have a really, really long life, but they can't move very fast, like, they just I was very sad about that. But basically, we've got Giblet being killed, we've got old Charlie being killed, we have, uh, the original Santa being killed, so that's 3 killings that we have going on, and it's a lot piling up. I was so sad about old Charlie. I wish that had been left out. I didn't have any connection to Giblet. Agreed. I couldn't have cared less. Poor old Charlie. He was trying to tell the others. He was. I was sad about Charlie too. I found all of their strong personalities interesting. Thought Nick again was the weakest. Felt very bad for old Charlie. I agree. Nick did not have a lot of personality at all. So, speaking of strong personalities, what were your thoughts on Lucia not being allowed to be Santa, even though she was the oldest? Uh, it normally goes to the firstborn, but she was the firstborn, and they sort of stole that from her. I got kind of mad for her. Old Charlie got heat. Aw, too soon, too soon. Uh, the way snowmen are written is wonderful. Felt so bad for Charlie. I agree. I was just like, poor Charlie. Like, why you gotta do that to him? I felt bad for Lucia, but I guess I understood in a way, but that's why she was also considered a suspect for killing her brother, and then also then killing Giblet, and then killing, like, all of these started going on back and forth, but she's really, really happy for, like, with her life and how it is. I didn't like that at all. Sexism. Justice for poor old Charlie. Agreed. Haven't they watched the movie A Year Without Santa Claus? I mean, they did my girl Lucia wrong. I agree. They did. I feel like she would have been a freaking cool Santa. She would have been rocking it. Um, and as you guys have seen the dynamic of the family and you're seeing what April is being pulled into, what are your thoughts and expectations for April as Mrs. Claus? Um, I feel like she was sort of thrown in and thrust into this position as Mrs. Claus. And so um, I felt bad for her, and I also feel like Nick should have prepared her a little bit more for um you know, what she was going to have to endure and the things that could happen and sort of the expectations of her, because it seemed like he was sort of like, yeah, let's go to Santaland, let's go to the North Pole and everything's fine. And it sort of felt to me like she had to, like, drop a lot of the things that she does to be Mrs. Claus. But I think that she tried her absolute best at being the best Mrs. Claus that she could. Um, I really do think so. Um, so I think that she did all right. So we've got so many people that could be the potential killer. Who did you guys think the killer was? I would love to know. I'm going to see if this will let me um create a poll. Who did you think the killer was? Martin or Lucia or Amory? We haven't even talked about Amory yet. Uh, let's see if this works. Who did you think the killer was? I don't know how this polling works. What do you guys see on your end? Because I am not quite sure. Um, I would love her to push back a bit on Pamela. Pamela should help more. I agree. I see her making the role her own and getting even stronger. And I also feel like she's really going to sort of, like, make it to where some of the traditions are no longer the traditions. of what it was, but I could be wrong. Um, let's see. I don't think the poll thing worked. It's fine. I'm going to be working on it, I promise. Okay. So, what were your thoughts about when the killer, which I guess I can just say who the killer was. It was Martin. I was thrown for a whole freaking loop that it was Martin. I did not see it coming. I thought it was Lucia. I thought it was Amory. I think that's how you say his name. Amory Claus, the cousin who was there when Nick died, who had a grudge to hold against the Claus family because his parents were killed and he was forced to be raised by them. Like I really thought that it was going to be like that, like one of them. I did not see it happening to Martin. And one of the things that ticked me off the most about it being Martin is towards the end of the book, he tries to kill his nephew. And that was like, oh, it just that tore me up. I don't know what you guys think, but it really, really tore me up. I had no idea who the killer was. I don't know yet. She will bring progress. I hope she brings progress. But yeah, I had no idea who the killer was at all. I was completely thrown by it. I agree. I didn't want it to be a Claus. I thought it might be the girl elf, Juniper. Yeah, could have seen it be Juniper. I had a problem with the attempted murder of a child in a cozy. I agree. That was that was pushing, especially because he's 12. Like that was pushing the line of like cozy millennial kind of cozy. I don't remember, it was a while ago when I read it. Yeah, I actually finished this book on November 28th. And normally, you guys know I try to finish it like a day or two before book club. I tore through it. So yeah, the thoughts of like of killing the father and then going after the child, and like he wanted to be Santa. He wanted to have what his birthright didn't give him, and he was living a cozy like clutch life, right? Like he had everything given to him. He was, yes, in charge of the candy place, but like he also had all these other people creating those things for him too, right? Like was just being so selfish, and he basically killed his brother. It was a huge, just he had been thinking about this for years. Killed Nick off when he figured out that Giblet said that Nick had killed um uh his brother. What, like, Nick was there when everything happened. He thought it was Armory who had killed Chris originally, but he didn't want anything really to happen to him. So he said, you know what, like, let's not talk about what happened on here, let's just keep it um quiet. But Armory didn't kill him. It was Martin. And then Martin goes, okay, everybody thinks that Nick could be the suspect, so let's throw it on him. Let's kill Giblet, then let's kill old Charlie because Charlie's the one who saw him. Like, there were so many things going on. I couldn't flip and believe it. um I didn't know who the killer would be. I was shocked, but it made sense. Didn't like the attempted on the nephew either. It is Santaland. Like, come on. Um, I think that April did a really good job as being an amateur sleuth trying to figure out the whodunit. She was getting into everybody's business, but it also made sense that she was getting into everybody's business, so it didn't seem too far off. And she was using her Mrs. Claus stature as a way to get people to talk to her, and her friendship with Juniper was able to like show the elves like she is a really cool person, like we could trust her. So I felt like she did really, really good. as an amateur sleuth for her first time sleuthing. Um, I felt like she was the main character. Again, I feel like she should have been able to rely on her husband a little bit more, or he could have been more of her sidekick. That would have been kind of cool, like sort of like a best friend behind the scenes. But I feel like Juniper and Jingles. I freaking loved Jingles. What were your guys' thoughts on Jingles? Loved Jingles. Um, I felt like he and Juniper were the best sort of supporting roles for April. I think that one, like that was really good. I did like the sleuthing. That was one of the high points of the writing for me. Agreed. Yeah, I think that she did a really good job, which is really hard to do in your very first cozy, right? Like trying to really make sure that the reader feels like they're going along with you in the sleuthing, I feel was pretty cool. Um so were you I know that some people said yes, but were you a little brokenhearted when you found out that Martin was the killer? I was kind of rooting for him and Juniper to be a couple. I was loving like their whole entire vibe. I loved his relationship with April and really letting her feel like she is a part of the family, because I feel like Lucia couldn't have cared less. Mrs. Claus, the original Mrs. Claus, Pamela was like, why did you bring this woman here? Tiffany was so in mourning that like she wasn't going to be pulling um uh she wasn't going to be pulling her in at all. Sorry, I had a brain freeze. Um and so I was super super sad. Um Let's see. I'm excited to finish it. I'll definitely continue reading the series. Jingles is great, and while Nick is Santing, it's nice to have Jingles in the house backing April up. I agree. I'm glad they had April's back, especially with Jingles. That is sad. I know. I was so bummed. Yeah, I thought Martin would end up being her friend, right? Like, I just really thought that like he was going to be, there for her. So, what do you guys think about how it ended in general? And are you going to continue with the series? So, if you follow me on Goodreads, you saw that I already read book 2, which is Santa and she brings a Halloween to Santaland, and it was absolutely it was good. I would say that it was better than the first one. Um, and I have the third one, Mrs. Claus and the Evil Elves on I have it over there on my book cart right now. So, are you guys going to finish with the series? And how did you think it went overall? Um, and wrapping up book club for 2022. I can't believe, guys, we have been doing book clubs since like 2017, 2018. That is a long time, and some of you guys have been with me the whole entire time, the whole entire ride. I really hope that book club has felt like it's just like getting together with all of my friends. I absolutely love spending time with you guys every single week. It makes my heart super super happy, and it just makes me just I love you guys so much. Yes, Thart. Oh yeah, I already read that one. I don't plan on continuing the series. It just lacked some things for me. That's totally fine. I want to continue with the series. Ending with Like Another Murderer. Yeah, I agree. Will continue. I love the concept and the covers. The covers are freaking stunning. Like they're so beautiful, and I love the way that the books feel. Like it's got like this matte feeling, but then also parts of it are shiny. I love it. Can't wait. I pre-ordered 2 and 3 when they came out. It's been my Christmas must read. If there's another one, I'll pre-order that too. Yes, have all of my money. all of my money. I love it. Love book club. Thank you so much. I do too. There were a couple of little things, but overall, especially for a first book, I thought it was good and fresh. I agree. Great book to end the year with. I'm looking forward to 2023. Yeah, agree. I bought the book because of its cover design, right? It's freaking gorgeous. I love book club. I love spending time with you in the group so much. Thank you, Courtney, for all that you do as our host. I love the discussion questions. Yay! I plan to attend every month next year. That makes my heart so happy. I will read the second one since you said it was better than the first. I 100%, I'm telling you, it is better than the first. You will not regret reading the second one. You even get a little bit more into Nick and April's relationship, and he starts to actually have a personality. I promise you. I promise you. You do need the physical copies. Yes. I love book club so much. Thank you, Amber. Yes, I love book club too. Looking forward to the read along next year. Yeah. So, speaking of that, I am going to put a number. Let me see how many people are watching right now. I've got 21 people watching the stream right now. I want let's see. I'm trying to figure out because Liz Ireland actually reached out to me and offered to do a giveaway or one of her books signed copy sent to one of you guys. So, let's see. I'm not going to do the one or I'm not going to do the 21. I have right now 116 comments. I've got more coming. I'm going to choose a number between 70 and 118. And whoever is that number, I'm going to reach out to you and let you know what the book or the winner is. Or maybe I'll just do the last 20 comments so that I can actually tell you right now. So, hey Siri, choose a number between 1 and 20.
The answer is 17.
17. Okay. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Alicia, you are the winner of a signed book from Liz Ireland. If you will message me on Instagram, I will send her all of that information and get your book sent out to you. Congratulations. I was extremely shocked. Guys, I am one of those people that I do not ask authors for giveaways and things like that because I get way, way, way too shy about it. And I don't want to seem needy. And so when she offered to have the to give one of you guys a signed copy of the next book in the series, I was floored. And of course, I was like, thank you very much. I appreciate it. But let's talk about next month's book. So it sort of coincides with what I'm doing next year. So I'm going to be doing a reread of the Bake Shop mystery series by Ellie Alexander. It's one of my absolute favorite series of all time, and I really feel like I want to do a reread of it, but I'm doing something different with the reread. I'm going to read one every single month, and then at the end of the month, I'm going to pick one recipe from the book. Alex really wants to come in here. He can come in here. I'm ending the book club. He can come in. Give me a second, okay? You can come here for a second. So I am going to be taking a recipe from each one of the books once a month, and I'm going to do sort of a bake spoilery video of the whole entire book, and I'm super, super excited about it. She also is giving, she's also gave one of my subscribers the whole entire collection, and then another one, the first book in the series. What, baby? You want to sit? Did you want to sit on my lap? Well, you have to wait until I'm done talking to these lovely people, okay? Oh, okay. So I'm super, super excited about reading Meet Your Baker. I will read the synopsis really quick as my 2-year-old will allow me to read. Can you say hello? Say hi. No, hold on. All right, so I'm going to read the back of the book, okay? Okay, give me a second. Okay. Welcome to Tort, a friendly small town bake shop where the treats are so good that sometimes it's criminal. It's funny. Okay. After graduating from culinary school, Juliet Capshaw returns to her quaint hometown of Ashland, Oregon to heal a broken heart. Okay, this is as much as I'm going to be able to read, but it's amazing. I promise you it is. We will have book club on the last Wednesday of January at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. But that's about as much as I can do with this little toddler on my lap. Can you tell everybody to have a good night? Can you say bye? Bye. Bye. Can you go bye, 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 bye? No. Bye. Bye, everybody. I hope that you have an amazing night and a fantastic new year, and I will see you all in my next video that goes up. Okay. Bye, guys. Have a good night. Bye. Oh, Cleo says bye too, guys. Bye. Bye, everyone.